Welcome back, team. All right, team. Right, team. So, provisioning the database. Okay, provision the DB. Team, focus the database very clearly. The database is the key or game changer, especially when you go to the architectures. Okay, this one you need to plan really well. Okay, really well. Right. So, for example, team. For example, you can provision any type of database in the cloud. Any type of database in the cloud. That is your wish. You can provision MySQL, you can provision Postgres, you can provision Cosmos, you can provision Mongo. That is your wish. Your wish, okay? And that decision is not yours. That decision will come from your architect. Okay, you don't need to worry what kind of database we need to provision in the portal. You don't need to worry at all. But what you need to worry, whenever you are provisioning this component, you need to keep few things in your mind. Few things in your mind. That is really important. Okay. So what are all those things? Okay. Right. Firstly, whenever you are provisioning the database stream, you need to think about two things. First one is HA, another one is DR. You need to think about these two things very clearly. Very clearly. Okay. Remember this one. You need to maintain proper high availability. You need to plan for disaster recovery. If you don't plan these two things, definitely you will be in risk. Okay, you will be in risk. I'm just telling you very clearly. No doubt you will be in risk for sure. But how exactly we need to select HA? How exactly the DR? How these things are really helping us? That is what first we will learn. Okay, we will learn. Okay, all right. Let's take a region. Okay, I'm just taking a region. This is Southeast Asia. I'm just considering Southeast Asia. Okay, Southeast Asia. So this is Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, you know very well that Southeast Asia is Singapore. Singapore region. You can consider any region, that doesn't matter for me. I'm just taking one example. And this is the one exactly I'm representing as this is one region. Whenever you are provisioning any Azure component, not only database, that could be a virtual machine or Kubernetes cluster or event hub or logic app or function app, anything. In any region, usually you have at least 3 zones. Okay, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Correct? That is the thing. Commonly we know that. So I'm just dividing this particularly this particular region into 3 zones. That is what exactly I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just separating this one. Yeah, I'm just dividing the region into 3 parts. Okay, 3 parts. So zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Focus here, team. Okay, this is very important concept. Right. So now once you divide your particular region into 3 parts. So this one, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So, okay, fine. All right. Okay. So, I'm just giving a representation here. Okay. Which is your zone 1. Okay. Zone 1. For example, this is the zone 1 exactly I'm just keeping. And this one is zone 2. And the next one is zone 3. Okay. Zone 3. Okay. All right. Now, when you're provisioning a database in real time, always you will try to keep this particular database in any one of the zone. That one you no need to control. Usually Azure will do that. Any one of the zone. Sometimes it will ask you which zone you want to go. Sometimes it will not ask. That doesn't matter, to be frank. Oh, which zone exactly you want to keep. Because for you, all zones are same. Even you don't even know which zone consisting of the higher infrastructure or some additional infrastructure. Even we cannot understand that. So that doesn't matter for us wherever we are deploying our particular service. That's very clear. Now, for example, let's take a scenario. I'm just keeping the database, whatever the database we are trying to provision. I'm just keeping the database especially in the zone 1. Okay. Okay, team. Okay, all right. Okay, let's consider the end-to-end scenario. What is the end-to-end scenario? End-to-end scenario is this is an application. application is getting connected to the database. This is a common thing. Commonly you will do. This application scenario is this application may be from app service, or this application may be from Kubernetes cluster, or this application may be from function app or logic app. Can be anywhere. Okay, fine. And this guy is the end user. End user is accessing the application. When he is accessing the application is connected to the database. Okay, fine. Very clearly we understand so far. Now, Zone 1, all of a sudden, coalesce issue happened. Coalesce issue means Zone 1 usually have some data centers. More than one for sure. What happened in the Zone 1? Zone 1 suddenly coolers which are sitting at the data centers were not working, stopped working. Or Zone 1 power failure. Zone 1 some natural issue, some natural calamity or some disaster happened, especially on the Zone 1. I'm just considering. Could be anything. Then obviously, whatever the infrastructure actually Azure is managing on the Zone 1 will not work. Zone 1 will not work. Obviously, your application cannot connect to your database because database is not there. Database is dead. Then what should we do? If you really planned your database a little bit better, definitely you can escape from this scenario. Then what is that plan? That plan is nothing but zonal redundancy. What does it mean? Whenever you are provisioning a database in the Zone 1, at the same time, I'm asking Azure, hey Azure, can you please help to set up a zonal redundancy for my database? Okay, Azure will do that for you. And this is your another database which is sitting in another zone. Now, the point you need to understand here, team, now you have literally two databases, but you cannot access this database. This is impossible to access. As a user, as a business user, as a stakeholder, you cannot access this database. But as a business user, you can access only this database. That is possible. And as an end user, you can connect to this database by using this app. That is also possible. But you cannot connect to this one. That is impossible because you cannot see this connection. You cannot see this connection, or you cannot see this database. Oh, where exactly this particular database. But you can see an entry in the portal to give some assurance. Yes, you have a database as a zonal redundancy. You can see an entry. That is okay. That is exactly the confidence we can get. That's okay. Now tell me how zonal redundancy is helping in this scenario in the case of zone failure. For example, let's consider the Zone 1, whatever the issues I mentioned, any one of those things happened. For example, some issue happened on the Zone 1. Coalesce issue happened. Obviously, Zone 1 will not work. Database will not work. Then what will happen, automatically, Zone 2 database will be connected for your app. This one will happen now. This one will happen. Automatically will connect. And remember, to make a connection from application to the database, you are using some line, right? This one usually we'll call as connection string. Okay? This connection string, whatever the connection string you are using, especially to connect to this particular database, for this database also same connection string. You no need to worry on the connection strings and all. Meaning that you no need to reconfigure your application when Zone 1 database is down. You don't need to reconfigure. If Zone 1 database is down, automatically your application will connect to the Zone 2 database and your operations will resume as it is. There is no change. There is no change actually. There is no change. That is the exact advantage you will get if you maintain the zonal redundancy. See, what is the benefit you are getting? Though there is a zonal failure happened, still application or business users, stakeholders can connect to your database comfortably. There is no change on the connection string. There is no change on the username and the password also. Everything is same. Everything is same between these two databases. How that is happening? Now, let's take another connection here. I'm just connecting this one here and this one here, okay, this one here. Now you know what exactly the thing I'm placing here, team. Whatever the data, let's consider the scenario for you, okay. Whatever the data application is writing to this database, whatever the data application is writing to the database, same data will be written to this particular standby replica. We will call this database as a standby replica. That's the correct name, okay. Standby replica. Okay, standby replica. Whatever the data you are writing to this particular database, same data will be written to this database also. Okay, I'm just removing this connection just to avoid confusion. Let's take a scenario. Let's consider this application is an e-commerce application. Usually you will go to the website, you will explore, and you will go there, and finally you will come up with a product, and that particular product usually you will submit the order, right? You will submit an order. The moment when you submit an order, that particular order will be submitted. It's a post request. Post request means something you are trying to save in the database. Get request means something you are trying to retrieve from the database. That is get request. Post request means something you are trying to submit to the database. That is post request. You are trying to save something. So when you submit the post request to the database, the data order details will be saved here. At the same time, same details will be passed to this database also. Then only primary will give an acknowledgement to the application. Hey, application details saved successfully. You can comfortably display the message, order submitted successfully. So meaning that these two databases are coming in sync. That is the thing is happening first. So in any case, in case this database is down, exactly same data is available in this database also. So you don't need to worry at all, data point of view. You don't need to worry at all. When something happened to this one, as I told you already, your application, no change. Connection string, no change. This same connection string will be connected to this one, that's all. Your user operations will be resumed as it is. This is what maintaining high availability, HA. We'll call this particular process as HA in databases world. This process is called HA. So this is what exactly you need to keep in your mind whenever you are provisioning a database, especially in the cloud. Point to be noted. Whenever you are opting for this particular standby replica, your charges are doubled. Your charges are doubled. Just a second. Your charges are doubled. For example, this database is charging you $350 for example. $350. The moment when you opt in for the high availability, your charge is $700 USD. You need to bear this. You are getting high availability. Obviously, you need to bear the infra cost. This is the catch exactly you need to keep in your mind. You need to convince your client or customer, see, your database costs definitely a little bit more because we opt in for the high availability. In case something happened on the zone 1, still we should be able to solve the traffic. That is where our standby replica is helping us. So you need to keep this one. Okay, connection string. Okay, Srikanth asked connection string. See, connection string, you no need to create anything, team. Whenever you are provisioning database, connection string will be provided automatically from the cloud environment. I will highlight that one for you when we are provisioning this particular database in the cloud. Don't worry. Connection string, but as for now, you can remember connection string is a one which is consisting of an address of the database. Simple. Which is an address. For example, if I want to call you, I'm just calling you as a Srikanth because that is your identification. Your identification name is Srikanth. In the same way, to connect to this database, we need an identification. That identification is nothing but an address. That address is nothing but a connection string. Okay, that is exactly the meaning for this one. Right. This is what exactly maintaining high availability. Thank you for the session. See you in the next part.